This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. This is what a conspiracy looks like. For those of you that don't know, because they've watered down the term conspiracy theorist, and people don't even think of what a conspiracy is. The definition of a conspiracy is a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful, the action of plotting or conspiring. This right here is how people should be waking up to what's going on. Now, of course, this is the type of stuff that constantly gets me banned off of all platforms. But I'm going to play for you this video about a wedding in India that took place. A billionaire's son in India had a 3-day wedding event, pre-wedding event, before the actual wedding. And you'll see the connection between all the people there and everything going on in the world, especially with that outbreak that just occurred. And then all these technology gurus who were there were hell-bent on getting a certain something inside of everyone's bodies. Really just modern day mad scientists, but worse than that, complete psychopaths. So I'm going to play for you this video from the website on what an actual conspiracy looks like. This is globalists. This is people of power conspiring together because that's what they all have in common. The people at this wedding, you would think none of them have anything in common. Why is Ivanka Trump in the same room as Bill Gates and Larry Fink and all these people who run all the banks who are at this wedding? So I'm going to play the video for you now, but there's a chance this video gets a strike. And if you want my daily content, please subscribe to Nations Conspire Now. It's my other channel I'm building out. I am about to start uploading 2 to 3 new videos per day over on that channel. So if you want to stay in the loop, you want to be up to date, subscribe now. Just search for it or look below in the description box for the links to it. And again, if you haven't checked out the website at callforanuprising.com, it's $2.99 a month. It's 10 cents a day. It's troll free. There's a fee for the site to keep trolls out and also to give me unlimited bandwidth over there. Thousands of videos in the video library. All the stuff that they've removed from this platform is over there. The forum itself is worth the $2.99 a month. It is the best forum out there. It is so active with lots of crucial information. Everybody who's seeing what's going on, people sharing what's going on in their towns, the stuff they're seeing sold at stores, the stuff they're seeing in their local Freemason lodges. So it's very, very good. It's worth $2.99 a month. If you're going to spend $3, that's the way to spend your $3. So callforanuprising.com. Videos like this are available exclusively over there because these are the types of videos that will get strikes, but I will leave this up for a day so people can see it. So here we go. This is the video from the website. Enjoy.
YouTube says it has had enough of vaccine misinformation on its site.
And false stories from phony sites to run circles around major news outlets.
Many people don't know the difference between something real and something created to deceive them.
Open your eyes.
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show exclusively here on a callforanuprising.com. I have to fill you in on this wedding that just took place in India. You probably have never heard of this person, Anant Ambani, because nobody really has, right? But he's the heir of a billionaire, and he had a big wedding in India. In fact, it was a pre-wedding celebration for 3 days, because that's normal, right? And you have to see the guest list of who is at this wedding, and then realize who his father is. And then, of course, it's very easy to connect the dots with everything going on in the world with 6G and COVID, and of course, green energy and the carbon tax. Very easy to see. And then, of course, you say to yourself, why are these people in the same room together? Why are the Trumps in the same room as the Bill Gateses of the world? And why are not more people out there suspicious about how all of them have these things in common? Including the fact that not only is Trump there, not only is Ivanka Trump, I should say, and her husband there, Jared Kushner, and Bill Gates, and Mark Zuckerberg, and Larry Fink. I'll get into the whole guest list, Klaus Schwab. But why are people like Rihanna there? Why are there Hollywood celebrities like people like David Blaine, magicians? Why are they there? What do they have in common with one of the richest guys in the world, his son? Well, what they have in common is the bloodlines that they're all involved in, that they're all related to one another, and they're all in it together for total control and world domination through technology, through these vaccines that they're hell-bent on getting in your body. And of course, we're supposed to believe people like Rihanna are just there because they love her music, right? When you start connecting the dots with how they've used influencers to influence the behavior of society, and then you hear people like Larry Fink, who are also in attendance at this wedding, it's very easy to see everything that is going on. So let me show you this wedding. Okay, Rihanna, Mark Zuckerberg, Ivanka Trump, among bevy of stars at Indian billionaires' hair's pre-wedding bash. It's amazing how people like Rihanna, like we know all celebrities are anti-conservatives, right? But they could be friends at a wedding, of course, and nobody gets suspicious about how they're all in the same weddings together. Because again, it's about you being divided, not about them being divided, because of course they're not divided. So here's a picture of the couple, and you'll see right underneath the picture that the people in attendance, Ivanka Trump, World Economic Forum chairperson Klaus Schwab, because Klaus is very close to this man's father. And who is this man's father? He's Mukesh Ambani, the one all the way to the left. He's on the World Economic Forum's Board of Trustees, right? And not only is he on the World Economic Forum Board of Trustees, Mukesh is the person who owns Reliance Life Sciences, who's responsible for the COVID-19 vaccine, one of the COVID-19 vaccines, which is called Real Covax TM, which is a second-generation multivalent SARS-CoV-2 vaccine, which was presented at the 2021 Vaccine Summit. And of course, this guy, who is the father of the person getting married, who threw this entire bash, had all of his buddies come, right? And the other thing that this guy owns is Geo Platforms, and they're going to be among one of the first companies that rolls out 6G capability. So it's interesting that he's very interested in 6G telecommunications, but is also very interested in vaccines, right? What does one have to do with the other, right? I mean, aren't we told like we have professions and careers in certain fields? This is like the equivalent of like, the same thing I guess we talk about Bill Gates, right? He's supposed to be into computers and technology. Now he knows everything about science and vaccines. Well, of course, because it's the mixing of iron and clay. This is the merging of technology with human beings. So of course they have to talk about vaccines and push and promote, right? So Geo Platforms, which is this is the father of the person who got married's wedding. The wedding is for the son and the wife. They had a 3-day celebration, and Mukesh Ambani invited all of his pals, and you can connect the dots and see all of his pals. Now, Mukesh Ambani is one of the richest people in the world. He's like a Jeff Bezos type. Okay, he's close to the net worth of Jeff Bezos. He's also somebody who's pushing hard, invested heavily in renewable green energy, because they're all tied together, right? The carbon footprint, green energy is your enslavement. Okay, you will be monitored and tracked with the technology. So you take 6G, you take the vaccines, then you mix it with the carbon footprint. That's going to be the thing that they're going to monitor is your behavior through this stuff. So they want, all of it is tied in together. It all works hand in hand. So some of the other people to note at the wedding, Sundar Pichai, and I might have said his name wrong, but screw this guy. Okay, he's one of the heads of Google, right? Him, and it says, look, Reliance and Google's ongoing relationship includes a $4.5 billion investment from Google for Geo Platforms, which happened in 2020. So Google, of course, investing in Geo Platforms, which is one of the leaders of the 6G rollout over in India. Okay, so what does one have to do with the others? You're talking 6G, then you're talking about how Google's involved now with 6G, and how this guy is at this guy's wedding, and this guy is involved with vaccines, and all of these people seem to be promoting and telling you to get vaccinated. Huh? Right? What would Sundar know? He was another one at Google. They're the ones who censored any anti-vaccine speech, anybody speaking against the vaccine. In fact, we're at a point now where they have their algorithms running at a point where people like me aren't even allowed to get on the platform, and every time we try to sidestep it, they have their employees at Google are literally, if you haven't heard, employees at Google joined the mailing list on this website. You remember it used to say free videos up on the top? Well, guess what? They got so sick of me being on their platform, they have multiple, not one or two, multiple, a group of Google employees from whatever department, maybe in India, who knows, signed up for that mailing list. And I can't weed out who it is because it's more than one person. And it's a multitude of people, so I had to get rid of the free video list because every time I send out an email blast and tell you where I'm uploading on YouTube, the channel gets removed. I've tried every which way to get around it. I've even put landing pages in between to see if it's a bot or a robot that's following me around. Well, clearly it's not because I just did a trial run with that. And you had to go to a landing page and click on a link to get to my new YouTube channel, and they terminated it. So this guy and his puppets are sending people after even the likes of me because they don't want you to fall out of the illusion, because then people like Sundar and people like this Indian tycoon Mukesh Ambani, not only do they lose their grip and their power over you, but they're fearful that civilians will rise up and take everything away. Because let's be honest, you could look at this guy's wedding. There's people out there that look at his wedding and like, oh, I'm so jealous. I mean, I couldn't care less. I'd rather get married at a nitroglycerin plant than get married at a place like this, okay, and have a three-day wedding, pre-wedding. Sounds like hell on earth to me, okay? But when you look at this, you say to yourself, and you should say to yourself, this is what I say. You see these people, you say, look at all the stuff they have, all the money they have. That's fine by me. Just leave us the F alone. Get away from us. Stop trying to censor our speech. Stop trying to meddle in our lives and get vaccines and get this technology in us, and go about your life doing these things to one another. Right? Then we'd all say, I don't care how much money these people have. They could have trillions of dollars. Go ahead. Do whatever you want. Okay? Obviously, to a point, if we found out, and which we know, the stuff they do with children, well, then you just take matters in your own hands. But let's just say they were just rich independently, right? Who would care? I wouldn't. I wouldn't care. Go ahead. And if this is you want to make this technology, put it in your own body, go ahead. Right? But these people, it's not enough for them to have this money and have these lavish parties. They want control of you. Okay, and so they're fearful of people like me and you, which is why they have so much censorship out there with their artificial intelligence. Because if the world finds out, guess what? These lavish parties don't happen anymore. The civilians go there with blowtorches. The civilians go there and they take the power back. Any of the power they hold. And that's one of the video I did yesterday about the Meta being down. What's important to note in that video is that the internet and social media has given them control. And that's what it's always been about. How do we get control? If everybody was Amish and off the grid, they wouldn't be able to control people. Civilians wouldn't. They have full control. They have full control of the hive mind, the internet. So they could turn it on and off and control you that way. They could tell you which way to, and they could spread this false information, this news that they constantly push. So do you think it's coincidental that Zuckerberg, Gates, right? Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, Rihanna, Klaus Schwab, what do they have in common? Sundar Pichai. What does Sundar have in common with Rihanna? Right? Larry Fink is at this event. Okay? Larry Fink. Let me read you a rundown of the guest list. Okay? Ready? Listen to some of these people and tell me what they have in common, because you'll just be like, wow, heads of Morgan Stanley, Bank of America. Then you see how the carbon footprint gets tied into this as well. Okay? Mukesh Ambani and Nita Ambani's youngest son, Anant Ambani, is set to wed at a 3-day event. Guest lists include Mark Zuckerberg to Bill Gates. The world's business moguls are set to attend the wedding in Mumbai. As per a report by the Economic Times, Zuckerberg, Morgan Stanley CEO Ted Pick, Microsoft founder Bill Gates, Disney CEO Bob Iger, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, ADNOC CEO Sultan Ahmad Al Jaber, L. Rothschild Chair Lynn Forrester of Rothschild. So there's your Rothschild. Bank of America Chairman Brian Thomas Mannion, Blackstone Chairman Steven Schwartzman, Qatar Premier Mohammed bin Abdullah bin Jassam Al Thani. Obviously I'm not pronouncing it right, but who really cares? Let's just call them what they all are, satanic scumbags. Exor CEO John Elkin, Adobe CEO Shantanu Narayan, Adobe, like Adobe Premiere. Think about all these companies and all these corporations, how they all, what do you think? They're all just friends. The guy was like, hey, I'm having a wedding. I love using Adobe pictures. I love to do that. I love to use Adobe to do illustrations and edit for my YouTube channel. So why don't I invite him to my wedding? How do they all know each other? How do they all have the same political ideologies? How are these people all the ones because this is global communism and it runs through corporations. Okay, so the Adobe CEO, Lupa Systems CEO James Murdoch, Hill House Capital founder Zhang Li, BP Chief Executive Murray Auchincloss, and Brookfield Asset Management CEO Bruce Flatt. So you have Larry Fink, you got Morgan Stanley, you've got the Rothschilds, you got Bank of America, you even have companies like Adobe, and then all the way on the other side, you got people like David Blaine, the queer magician, okay, at the event. What does he have to do with it? Oh, they see his magic show once in Las Vegas? They're like, hey, let's fly him all the way to our wedding in India. Because it was because they're all Satanists. They're all satanic scumbags. And imagine the rituals that were done at this wedding, by the way. I can't imagine. Just pray for children, nameless, faceless children that you'll never know of that were probably bred just for this wedding, because that's what they do in these covens. They breed them. They go to these events like, oh, look, we're having this big thing. Then all the phones are put in a bin. All the technology shut off, and they have these massive rituals with these children. It makes me want to put a hole in the wall. I won't even go any further because I'm recording this too early in the morning to get my blood pressure through the roof. But let's just recap, right? Let's recap common sense. Common sense would tell us this, right? Let's just look at it like you had a party and wherever you live. Say you live in an apartment, you had a party, right? Would everybody in your apartment complex be invited? Probably not. You probably maybe have 2 friends there, but you got your family who doesn't live there. You got your friends from work. You got your friends from when you were in high school, right? They'd come to your party, you have a little party, right? Well, how come all of these people who are heads of all of these major companies, heads of BlackRock, which owns everything, heads of Google, heads of Microsoft, right? For the son of the guy who is one of the faces of the World Economic Forum, since he's on the board of trustees, who also rolled out the vaccine, who also is rolling out 6G, what do they have in common? Why are they all there? Oh, right, because this is a global conspiracy. Okay, it's not a theory, it's a conspiracy. But these people are conspiring to ruin our lives, and they're already doing it. And this all ties in with the stuff. So look at Ivanka Trump being there. Right? Every one of these corporations is openly silencing conservative speech. So should Ivanka Trump be there with Klaus Schwab, a globalist? I thought the Trumps were the biggest anti-globalist people on the planet. Oh, well, she's there what? She's friends with the person, with the son and the daughter. Give me a break. Give me a break. It shows you that they don't have to even be held accountable when they're in the same room with each other, which we obviously saw with Trump and all these people who believe into the Epstein psyop. Right? They're all like, oh, well, that's different. He didn't know that Epstein was a pedophile. Oh, how convenient. But Tom Hanks did, right? All these other people you want to pin. Well, they went to the island. Well, Trump didn't go to the island. Oh, no, I don't want to believe that because I'm putting all my eggs in Trump's basket. Instead of the civilians stopping this from occurring. Look at these people together. This is an easy way. This is something I'd like to have been able to post on YouTube. But even if I had multiple channels running right now, I couldn't put it up because I can't talk about the vaccine. Because they'll just say it's medical misinformation. The algorithm has become that it spots the words in the article and puts it up underneath the video, as you've seen with the Wikipedia crap, right? So isn't this a common sense type of thing where we see this wedding and everybody in America goes, I have no idea who this guy is. Then you look into the guy, right? You're like, I don't know who he is. He's okay, so who's his father? Oh, his father's on the board of trustees of the World Economic Forum. His father rolled out a vaccine. His father's rolling out 6G. His father is pretty much like a Bezos type. Right? A billionaire who also is putting all of his money into green renewable energy, which will enslave you, right? Then he somehow knows, they all know Rihanna, they know David Blaine, they know Larry Fink, they know Klaus Schwab, they're friends with Ivanka Trump, but Ivanka Trump is there and she's staying away from Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, right? Because they're globalists and Ivanka Trump is one of us, right? She's really free from it. Give me another break. We're at a standpoint now with the division being so thick. If this was all real, how could Ivanka Trump even be in the room with the likes of the Bill Gateses of the world? Oh, right, I forgot. Donald Trump's the one who rolled out the vaccine in America, right? So it's very convenient memory loss for many of these people. This wedding just summarizes what a global conspiracy is. Because all you should have to do is be able to say, what do these people have in common? How do CEOs of these corporations even know each other, right? How does the CEO of Bank of America know the CEO of Disney? What, he banks there? Oh, well, because they're big CEOs of big places like that, they just happen to know each other and be friends because they go to all these other meetings together. And what do you think they're talking about at the meetings? You think Disney's like, hey, we're Bank of America, we'd like to incorporate credit card payments at our parks. Oh, wait, we already have that. So what are they talking about? And then what's Larry Fink talking about with their Google? Oh, right. What do they all have in common? Well, they all have the same ideologies politically, right? Disney's gone woke. Woke is communism. This is a communist conspiracy, a global communist conspiracy. Everyone there should be entrapped wherever they just were, and the civilians should surround it and arrest them all. Arrest them all. Look at the stuff they're doing. This isn't enough for them to be able to literally bathe in cash, which none of us even care about. But the fact that they're going, we won't let people speak, we won't let people have any freedoms, and we're going to get our poison inside of them, our tech inside of them. We're going to crash, because next up is crashing the economy, which they're already doing, but I mean, getting rid of regular cash and bringing in digital currency. These people are trying to dictate our lives. These are the ones responsible. You look at some and you're like, well, they're just dorks. Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, right? Yeah, well, maybe it's time the civilians do something about it. Sundar Pichai. We're allowing Sundar Pichai, not only that, I'm allowing Sundar Pichai apparently to decide where I can speak freely. I'm letting Pundar Sakai, or whatever, Pundar Sakai decide if I'm allowed to even make money in my life anymore to feed myself, maybe feed my fam, whoever, right? Put food on the table for myself. Well, Pundar Sakai decides, Sundar Pichai, decides that I'm not allowed to earn money on his platform, Google. Is it hateful? Oh yeah, what's so hateful about it? The fact that I'm exposing you, I'm exposing your vaccine, right? So should I be allowing Sundar Pichai to decide that? No, I shouldn't. And this is the reason that I don't give up, and I won't give up. Because these little pipsqueaks aren't going to do this to the world and get away with it. Now, I know Christ is going to return and stop them from doing it, but who's to say that we can't stop it from happening now? If people just, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this out, okay? Use your common sense that you would use in your day-to-day life with how these people are all in a room together, right? If you saw there was a party, if you had 100 enemies in your life, right? And they were all random, like ex-girlfriends, ex-employees, all people you're just like, I hate them. Person from high school may have bullied you. And there was a party, and all 100 of those people were in a room together, and it was just those people. Wouldn't you think a conspiracy was going on against you? Wouldn't you be like, what in the world? Every person I hate is in a room? What do they have in common? Oh, the one thing they have in common is that they hate you. And guess what? The one thing that these people have in common is not just that they're rich and wealthy, is that they're working together to ruin your life, take control of your life, and bring in a new world global communist order. I thank everybody for being here on the website. I hope you're all doing well. God bless all of you as always, and your families.